So let me ask you a question. If I asked you right now, what is absolutely guaranteed to prevent your company from 10xing, what would you say? Most people assume it's a lack of funding or maybe just really poor marketing, but the truth is actually pretty counterintuitive. Trying to improve and grow every single part of your business simultaneously is the one thing guaranteed to stop you from scaling.
Which brings us perfectly to the core thesis for today's explainer, and it's captured so well in this quote from entrepreneur and investor Sharran Srivatsaa. To do great things, we must do fewer things. Look, if you want to scale, complexity is your absolute worst enemy. Instead, we have to adopt simplicity not just as a nice-to-have preference, but as a highly deliberate strategy.
Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we are opening up the diagnostic playbook. We're going to do an analytical, step-by-step breakdown of practical business frameworks that prevent founder burnout and actually allow a company to scale. We are completely getting rid of the fluff today and focusing purely on the tactical systems and habits that turn a small, chaotic operation into a scalable, high-value organization.
Here's our roadmap to diagnose and fix those common scaling mistakes. We'll hit the complexity trap, the business diagnostic, the 1-1-1 scaling rule, defining your value proposition, memo culture, and lastly, identifying your business bottleneck. Let's dive in.
Kicking things off with Section 1, the complexity trap, and exactly why doing more actually hurts your growth.
Here is a fundamental truth we all just have to accept. As a business grows, complexity doesn't just increase linearly, it becomes dangerously exponential. And the only antidote is using simplicity as a strategy. The biggest, most successful businesses in the world are built on the simplest foundations. Just look at the data. 76% of people are more likely to recommend a brand that delivers simple experiences. And to put that into perspective, brands that lead in simplicity actually outperform stock market averages by over 200%. So simplicity isn't just about feeling less stressed, it is quite literally your competitive advantage.
Moving right along to Section 2, the business diagnostic. This covers traffic, systems, and skills.
If you run a service business, literally every single operation boils down to these three sequential steps. Number 1, traffic. Are you filling the funnel with a predictable source of leads? Number 2, systems. Are those leads automatically getting converted into customers? And number 3, skills. Can your team actually deliver on the promise you just sold? And a quick note on that last point, this is exactly where your hiring strategy comes into play. You don't just need generic quote-unquote A players, you need to recruit people who actively enjoy solving your specific delivery problems.
So, what happens if your leads aren't great and your systems aren't great either? Well, you have to fix the systems first. Think of it like this. You have to build the plumbing before you send water through the pipes. If you pump a bunch of paid traffic into a broken, leaky system, the first people who come in will have an absolutely terrible experience, and you're just going to be furious that you wasted all that money on ads. Always fix the plumbing first.
Which brings us to Section 3, the 1-1-1 scaling rule, or how eliminating variables helps you grow faster.
Okay, so we know we need to fix the plumbing, right? But how do we actually do that without getting completely overwhelmed by all the moving parts? You use the 1-1-1 rule. You lock in exactly one traffic source, one conversion method, and one delivery channel. You do not add a second traffic source until this singular sequence works flawlessly. So for example, maybe your one traffic source is paid Facebook ads, your one conversion method is a one-on-one sales call, and your one delivery channel is a private coaching group. Keep it that simple.
And this slide brilliantly contrasts those two paths. With the 1-1-1 method, you are focused on fixing just one variable at a time. If the ads break, you know exactly what's broken, giving you a really fast, clear path to a 300K business. Now contrast that with the most common mistake early businesses make, which is chasing channels. You're guessing across 10 different variables at once. You're doing Instagram, TikTok, SEO, and email newsletter, all at the exact same time. And the result, broken funnels and absolute burnout.
All right, Section 4, defining your value proposition, specifically through the Save One Day metric.
Let's pivot for a second from operations over to your messaging, because simplicity applies here too. There is this incredible case study from a real estate company called Telos. They had about 30 agents, and the founder asked them all, "What is the one thing that if I took away, you simply wouldn't want to work here anymore?" The unanimous answer? "Me being here saves me at least one day a week." So they stripped away all their complicated marketing messaging and just pitched that exact line. "We will save you one day a week." That single pivot and clarity, identifying that highest value customer outcome, helped grow the business from $300 million to $3.4 billion in just 5 years.
To uncover that kind of core desire in your own business, you have to start asking the right questions. What are the top questions people want answered right before they pull out their credit card? What do you wish they understood about your product? By asking these specific scorecard questions, you eliminate all the unnecessary products and features and focus purely on the customer's deepest desire. Believe me, they don't want 20 extra PDF reports and daily check-ins. They just want their one-day week back.
Next up, Section 5, Memo, Culture, and Leadership. This is all about organizing your thoughts for scale.
Once your operations and messaging are simplified, the very next barrier to scale is usually leadership. We define memo culture as a documented system of organizing thoughts and decisions on paper. In any fast-growing business, clarity of thinking ultimately creates clarity of results. But the absolute greatest psychological benefit of this is that fear has absolutely no place on paper. When you actually write down your anxieties or disorganized ideas, you almost always realize the fear was just made up in your head.
And that brings us to this incredibly strict but highly effective leadership rule. No memo, no meeting. If you want to make a big decision, you require a written document detailing the thinking beforehand. The memo is sent out before the meeting, everyone reads it to build a shared understanding, and when you finally sit down together, you only discuss the specific questions raised in the document. Do this, and your meeting quality will shoot up 10x, guaranteed.
And you can literally start doing this today using a super simple 3-step framework. Step 1, who is it to? You want to write it for someone with zero context. Step 2, the story so far. Just give the background. And Step 3, the actual recommendation and the specific questions you need answered. And hey, here is a phenomenal modern hack for this. You can literally just voice record a disorganized rant into a voice AI, tell it to plug your thoughts into this exact framework, and instantly have a clean professional document to send to your team. You're building institutional knowledge with barely any friction.
Finally, Section 6, Identifying your business bottleneck. Finding constraints before they find you.
Look, even with the best systems in the world, eventually something is going to break. And this is a really tough pill to swallow. But in most early-stage businesses, the primary bottleneck is, well, it's you. It's the founder. If you're generating leads and converting them, but you're the one delivering all the services because you just refuse to let go, you are the constraint. Breaking through this requires a ton of persistence and consistency. And crucially, it requires a mindset of freezing your lifestyle inflation. Instead of extracting cash to go buy new toys, you have to freeze your lifestyle so you can maximize your cash flow and reinvest it directly into replacing yourself.
To actively hunt down this bottleneck before it completely blows up your business, I want you to try this mental exercise. I want you to assume total success. If you woke up tomorrow and suddenly had all the clients, all the revenue, and all the customers you've ever dreamed of, would your current systems actually survive? Really think about it. You need to identify the exact processes that are only functioning right now simply because you are brute forcing them with your own time and energy.
Which leads me to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative question to think about. If your business doubled in size tomorrow, where exactly would it break? Because whatever that breaking point is, that is your bottleneck. It's time to use these diagnostic frameworks to fix your plumbing, simplify your variables, and clear the path to scale before your systems actually fracture. Start simplifying today, and I'll see you in the next explainer.